So quite a lot of people think that if they put all of the tenants' names on one assured short-hold tenancy agreement, it's not an HMO anymore. And equally, you get similar comments around the idea that if I let on all my tenants on a single room let, so they each have their own agreement for a room, then those are licenses and not tenancies, and varying versions of all of this. So this is all generally horribly confused and mostly wrong. The first thing we have to get around here is an HMO is a property with 3 or more unrelated people who are occupying it. It doesn't matter whether on licenses, tenancies, all on one tenancy, on 5 different tenancies, on any random number of tenancies you might imagine. If they are occupying a property as their main home and paying rent and they're not related and there are 3 or more of them, it's an HMO. It may not be a licensable HMO, but it will be if there are 5 people, but it will be an HMO. So it simply makes no difference whether or not you put all the tenants on 1 tenancy or on 2 tenancies or on 5 tenancies. It will be an HMO regardless. It won't matter if they're not tenants even, as long as they're living there as their home. So it's a complete red herring to suggest that you can get out of the legislation by doing that. The other difficulty is thinking about the type of tenants they're on. So some people will let a house of multiple occupation to 5 people on a single tenancy. So all 5 of them are on a single tenancy agreement and have the whole house. That's absolutely fine, you can do that, but that means that the whole property is theirs. You can't enter into it without their permission, and how they use it internally is kind of up to them. If they all stay in 1 bedroom together, which is kind of weird, but they can do it if they want to, or if they want to swap bedrooms, it's up to them. If, however, you choose to let the property as a series of roomlets, that will mean that every individual will have an assured short-hold tenancy for their bedroom and a license to use the common areas. Then, from a landlord's perspective, you control each bedroom separately. That means if one person wants to leave, they can leave and you can put somebody else in. It also means that because the common areas are on a license, you as the landlord can enter those whenever you want without having to give notice, so you can go and do basic inspections, which can be useful if your tenants are not terribly good at looking after the property. Of course, the flip side of that is the local authority will recognise this and will expect you to keep the common areas in much better condition, and you won't be able to blame your tenants so easily because you can access it whenever you want and they'll say you should be doing so. So there's swings and roundabouts on that. And then there's also the misunderstanding that some people take from that and say, well, because the tenants are sharing space, that means that their bedrooms are on licenses as well, and so I can do whatever I want with them and I don't have to give them the same rights as tenants. Well, that's not true. If a tenant has exclusive possession of their bedroom, notwithstanding they're sharing bathrooms and kitchens, then they will have a tenancy for their bedroom, an assured short-hold tenancy for their bedroom, and they will have a license to use the common areas. The only way that would change is if the landlord is providing some form of services in the bedroom, and obviously when I say services I mean things like cleaning, before anyone gets the wrong idea, which would mean that they had to have routine access. So like when you go to a hotel, you're in a hotel on a license because the hotel comes in every day and cleans your room. Exactly the same thing would apply in a rental property. If I have a service where I'm going in weekly to clean the room and change the sheets and the towels, then clearly the person can't have a tenancy because I have to be able to get in every week to change the sheets and towels and clean the room, and that will be a license. But it's not a license just because I say it is, it's a tenancy. So it's important to distinguish between all of those different things, between licenses for rooms where I actually have rights to access the room, and although I still have to go to court to evict people, their rights are much reduced. A tenancy per room and a license to use the common areas where I can access the common areas, and if tenants want to leave I can switch them in and out relatively easily, but they have their rights as tenants. And a tenancy for the whole thing where I don't have any real rights to access the property, and the tenants leave or change together, they can't really swap in and out, and they tend to control the whole space. But all of those different situations will be HMOs.